This is our Friday flow. You'll need a set of blocks today. Strap is optional, always just good to have nearby. We're actually going to start kneeling today. You can either draw your knees hip width wider or draw them together and just resting your hips on your heels, bringing your hands on your thighs, maybe closing your eyes. Sitting up nice and tall, crown of your head pulling towards the ceiling. Shoulders pulled down and back. From here, round your spine, bring your gaze towards your navel. If your eyes are open, hands towards your knees. Inhale, bring your hands towards your hips. Gaze up, look up, pull your shoulder blades back. Inhale, round your spine. Exhale, arch, drawing your hands towards your hips. Round your spine. A few more times just like this. Cat and cow and kneeling. Gently come back to center, shoulders stacked over your hips. Sweep your arms up high, arms over the shoulders. Exhale, bend your elbows, lift your gaze. Inhale, reach, gaze comes forward. Exhale, bend, spread the fingertips wide. One more time, inhale, gaze. Exhale, bend. Reach your arm back up high overhead. Exhale, release your right hand to your right hip on the floor on a block. Side bend over to the right. Left bicep to left ear. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, left hand by your hip on the floor on a block. Side bend over to the left. Inhale, reach. One more time each side. Back through center. Once more to the left. Reach back up. Release your left hand to your right knee. Reach your right hand behind you, maybe on the floor, floating or on a block, looking over your right shoulder. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Inhale, come back through center, both arms overhead. Exhale, release your right hand to your left knee, left hand behind you, floating on the floor on a block, looking over your left shoulder. Inhale as you lengthen, crown of your head to the ceiling. Exhale, twist. One more time each side, arms overhead. Release your left hand to your right knee, looking over your right shoulder, twisting a little bit deeper this time. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, twist, look over your left shoulder. Inhale, come back through center. Go ahead and grab those blocks if you previously didn't have them. Place them on either side. I'm just going to turn so you guys can see. We're going to find half camel to camel. So bring those blocks at any side, high, loaded, or medium, by your ankles on the outside. Draw your hips up, stacking your shoulders over your hips with your arms up high. Give me one cactus. Bend your elbows, lift your gaze, put your fingertips wide, shoulders down and back. Inhale, reach up, starting with the right side. Release your right hand. Option to bring it to your lower back. You can bring it to that block. You can bring it towards the ankle or the floor. Left arm stays up high. Press your hips forward. Half camel on the right side. Inhale, come back through center. Reach both arms up. Exhale, release your left hand to your lower back. Or on that block, press your hips forward. Just a set of blocks, optional strap. Mindy, you might want to grab a pillow under your knees. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach back with that right hand. Maybe try to get a little bit deeper. Maybe releasing your hand towards your right heel. Inhale, reach that right arm high. One more time to the left side. Left hand to your lower back, that block, or maybe reaching for your left heel. Press the hips forward, gaze up. Inhale, reach your arms up high overhead. Bring those blocks up towards your hands. We're going to come down, finding a tabletop position. Wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Do a few cat and cows here. Tuck your toes, hammock your butt, lift your gaze. Press the earth away around your spine. One more time through cat and cow. through neutral spine. When you're ready, maybe bump your hips side to side. From here, extend your right leg out long. So you're on that left knee, the inside of your right foot is sealed to the floor, maybe the outer right foot as well. From here, tuck your left toes, press your hips back, gently rock forward, shoulders stacked over your hips, press it back. One more time. Hold in here, shoulders stacked over your hips, reach your right arm high. Exhale, thread your right arm under and through the left side body, hovering, holding. Inhale, reach. Exhale, sweep. One more time on the right side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, release your right shoulder all the way down. Trying to keep that right leg extended. Maybe reach your left arm long. Box out your left hand if you would reach it long. Reach your right arm high. Gently release it down. Kick that right leg straight back behind you. Deep inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw that right leg up and over to the left side. Be looking over your left shoulder. Inhale, kick that right leg straight back. Exhale, round your spine, knee to nose, crunch it in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, rainbow. Draw that right leg further over from your left hip. Maybe looking over your left shoulder. You can rock towards your heel to deepen that stretch. Maybe rocking towards your toes, the ball of your foot. Gently come back to center. Release your right knee under your right hip. Bump your hips side to side. Coming back to that tabletop. From here, we're going to do the same thing with the left leg. Extend your left leg directly out from your left hip, so sealing that inside of your left foot, maybe the outer knife edge also. Tuck your right toes, press your hips back, rock forward, shoulders stacked over your hips, press it back, and forward. With here, stacking your shoulders over your hip, you reach your left arm high, deep inhale. Exhale, thread your left arm under and through, hovering, holding the right side body. Inhale, reach. Exhale, draw it under, maybe reaching further this time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, thread your left arm all the way under and through the right side body. Maybe placing your left cheek or ear on the floor, on a block. You can reach your right arm long, full body stretch here. Walk your right hand back under your shoulder if you have it lifted. Reach your left arm high. Release it down. Lift your left leg straight back. Deep inhale. Exhale, round your spine, knee to nose, crunch in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, rainbow that left leg up and over the outer right hip. Maybe looking over your right shoulder. One more time, just like that. Inhale, lengthen, kick it straight back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw that left leg further over from your right hip. Maybe rocking towards your left heel to deepen that sensation. Likewise, you can rock towards your toes with the ball of your foot. Come back to center, release your left knee under your hip. Bump your hips side to side. Coming into any organic movement that feels good for you today. You can draw your hips forward towards your wrist, down, and what you do on one side, repeat on the other side. Maybe doing some more cat and cows if that feels comfortable for you today. All right, from here, tuck your toes, walk your hands up, palm print forward, lift your hips, spine. Our first downward facing dog this morning. Maybe pedal out your heels. Keep a bend in the knees and walk your feet towards your hands. Coming into a forward fold. Half lift, hands to shins. Come back to that forward fold. Let your neck hang nice and loose. You can grab opposite elbows, sway side to side. Then come back through center, release your hands towards your toes. The long spine, roll all the way up, one vertebrae at a time. When you get to the top, sink your hips, find your chair. Pulse it for a 3, 2, And 1, reach your left leg high. Single leg mountain, flex your left toes. From here, we're going to draw that left leg over the right, and we're going to draw that left arm under the right. Coming into eagle legs, eagle arms. You can hold that left leg as high, or draw that left foot down, maybe tap your toes. You can hover your foot for more of a challenge. You can grab opposite elbows. Holding here, left leg over, left arm under, holding and breathing. Maybe sink your hips down, draw your shoulders up and back. You can lift your elbows for a deeper shoulder stretch. Inhale, rise up, set your left leg down, sweep both arms up high. Bring your hands back to heart center. Release your hands by your side. We're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Inhale, single leg mountain. Right foot lifted. Turn to face you guys. Flex your right toes. Draw your right leg over the left. So you can hold it high. You can draw your right foot down to the floor. Draw your right arm underneath the left. You can grab opposite shoulders. Maybe bind your hands. Sink your hips down when you're ready. Likewise, you can lift your shoulders. You can open up your shoulders by lifting your elbows. Holding and breathing. Inhale, rise up. Release your right foot down. Swan dive forward. Walk your feet back out. Find your down dog. Pedal it out. Come into your high plank, shoulders stacked under your hips, option lower your knees, lower down, full chaturanga. Untuck your toes, press up, mini cobra. Release down. Walk your hands to your lowest rib cage, full cobra. Optional, lift your thighs, coming to upward facing dog. Come through tabletop, back into down dog, pedal it out. Keep a bend in the knees, walk your feet to your hands. Finding your chair. Pulse it for 3, 2, and 1. Step your left leg back. Find your high crescent. Pivot your left toes. Open up warrior 2. Lift and lower 1 time. Come back to your warrior 2. Flip your right palm. Reverse your warrior. Keep a deep bend that right knee. Holding here and breathing. Come into extended side. Release your right hand to your right thigh, left bicep to your left ear. You can reach your right arm down. You can hover your arm. Straighten that front right leg. Reach your left arm directly up. Right hand down to the floor, to your shin, to your knee or a block. Finding your triangle. Keep that right leg straight, reverse your triangle. If you want to find archery, you can flex your right toes. Release your toes out, they were lifted. Bend into that right knee, cartwheel down, frame your right foot, step your right foot back, find your flow. Knees lifted or lowered. We'll chaturanga down. Coming into up dog, back to down dog, pedal it out. Excuse me. I swear I've been feeling better the past couple days. Woke up this morning feeling a little congested. Nothing better than some yoga to help with that. Alright, pedal out your heels. Step or hop your feet to your hands. Coming into that forward fold. Rise up. Find that chair. Pulse it for 3, 2, and 1. Step your right foot back. Find your high crescent. Pivot your right toes. Open up warrior 2. Deep bend in that front left knee. Give me 1 big star. Lift and lower. Flip your left palm. Reverse your warrior. Tuck your right hand behind your back or down your right leg. Try to high five that wall behind you with that left hand. Come back to warrior 2. Release your left hand to your thigh. Maybe hand to the floor. Right bicep to your right ear. Side extended. You can hover that left arm, maybe reach it forward, maybe down to the floor. Hold it here for one more breath. Straighten that left leg, reach your right arm high. Because if you're getting pulled in opposite directions from your left fingertips to the floor to your right fingertips to the ceiling, hold that left leg straight. Reverse your triangle. Tuck your right hand behind your back. Bicep to your ear. Bend into that left knee, cartwheel down. Frame your left foot. Step it back. Find your flow. Always an option to lower the knees. Back to that down dog. All right, we're going to combine those two flows. Pedal it out. From here, keep breathing. All right. Step or hop your feet towards your hands, coming into a forward fold. Half lift hands to shins. Come back to that forward fold. Release your right hand to the floor, reach your left arm up high. You can bend into that right knee or keep both legs straight. Release your left hand down, reach your right arm high. Option, bend into that left knee or keep it straight. Release your left hand down, slowly roll up, think one vertebrae at a time. Once you get to the top, roll shoulders up and back. Sink your hips, find your chair. Pulse it for 3, 2, and 1. Sweep your right arm back and forward. Left arm and forward. Right arm. Left side. From here, sweep your left leg high. Flex your left foot. Holding here, single leg mountain. We're going to open and close, open the hip, cactus the arms, and draw it out. One more. Hold it open, find your tree. Sole of your left foot to the inside of your right foot. You can keep your arms up high, find your branches. You can stay with cactus arms. You can bind your hands behind your back, maybe gaze up, look up, challenge your balance. Reach your arms back overhead. We're going to slide that left leg down the right. Gently bend into that right knee. Draw your left arm underneath the right. Bend your arms, maybe on your shoulders. Option to tap that left foot or keep it lifted. Maybe sink your hips down. Holding here. Holding here. If you want to come into a crunch, you can draw your left elbow to your left knee. Lift up. 2 more. All right, everyone come down and take that left leg straight back. You can unbind your hands, bringing your hands to the floor or to blocks, finding your bound bird or bird. Holding here and breathing. If you have your hands bound, you go and release them down the floor or to a block. We're going to pivot the hips, opening up into half moon. Right hand down, left arm up. Holding here and breathing. Gently bend into that right knee as you lower your left leg. Bound. Find your warrior 2. Hold it here for a breath. Inhale, reach up, big star. Exhale, bend. Reverse your warrior. Come through extended side. Any variation here. Left bicep to your left ear. You can hover that right arm or just rest it on your thigh, maybe reaching down towards the floor. Straighten that right leg, find your triangle. Bump your left hip back to the end of your mat. Reach your left arm high. From here, we're going to frame our right foot and pivot your left toes to 45. Great opportunity to use those blocks. So you want to draw that right hip back, find your pyramid. You can shorten your stance or keep your stance wider. Maybe bring your forehead toward your knee. You can walk your fingertips to your back toes. Keep your left hand on the inside of your right foot on the floor or on a block. Sweep your right arm high, revolved pyramid. Stay here, bend into that right knee, coming into revolved half moon, lifting your left leg high. Gently plant your left foot, pivot your left toes, come back to your triangle pose. We're going to pulse it for a 3. That's 2. And 1. Hold it low. Hold it here for a breath. Reverse your triangle, tuck your left hand behind your back, sweep your right arm high. Option to flex your right toes, find archer. Find your high crescent, bend into that right knee, pivot your left toes, both toes framing to the top of your mat. Cartwheel your hands down, framing your right foot so your block's off to the side. Kick your right leg straight back. Option to lower your right foot or keep it lifted, coming through your flow. And find your down dog, pedal it out. All right, that's our full flow. Repeat the same thing on the other side. Pedal it out. Step or hop your feet to your hands, coming into a forward fold. Left arm down, right arm up. Option to bend that left knee. Release your right hand, switch side, left arm up. Option to bend or keep that right leg straight. Release it down. Sweep both arms up high. Find your chair, pulse it for 3. That's 2. And 1. Sweep your right arm back. And forward, left arm. Right side. And left side. From here, sweep your right foot high. Flex your right toes. Single leg mountain. Holding here and breathing. Bend your elbows. Cactus. Open up your right hip. Draw everything back in line. 2 more times. Open. On this one, we're going to hold that right knee out from our hip. Cactus the arms. Helps with balance. Lower your right foot to the inside of your left thigh. Left calf or ankle. Find your tree. You can grow your branches. You can try cow face arms. Any direction. You can bind your hands behind your back. Maybe gaze up, look up. All right, good. And lift that right knee forward and draw that right leg over the left. Have a soft bend in that left knee to start. You can tap your right toes or keep them lifted for balance. Sweep your right arm under the left. Bound your hands or on your shoulders. Sink your hips down. Stay nice and low here. To open up your shoulders, lift your elbows. Stay here or add that ankle crunch. Right elbow to right knee and lift. 2 more times. Crunch it down. If you get the weebles and wobbles, that's okay. Come back to your breath. Everyone calm down for the crunch and kick that right leg back. Always an option to unbind your hands, keep your hips square. Release your hands down to the floor or to blocks. Keeping your left hand on the floor, open up your hip, reach your right arm high, coming into half moon. Opening up that hip, pull that heel away from the crown of your head. Bend into that left knee, gently lower your right foot. Find your warrior to adjust your feet. You can widen or shorten that stance. 1 big start, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Reverse your warrior, Flip your left palm up, tuck your right hand behind your back. Maintain that deep bend in your left knee. Commit to that bend. Find your extended side. Left hand to your left thigh, right bicep to your right ear. You can hover that left arm. Straighten that left leg, reach your right arm high. Press your right hip to the back of the mat. Finding your triangle. Holding here and breathing. Maybe rotate your right shoulder up and back. Gaze up to challenge your balance. Frame your left foot and pivot your right toes. So your right toes are turned to about 2 to 3 o'clock. Using those blocks or placing your hands on the floor. Maybe drawing your forehead towards your knee. If you want a deeper stretch, flip your fingertips to your right toes. Pull that left hip back. So that right hip's going to want to pull back and left hip pulling forward. Draw that left hip back, naturally pressing that right hip forward, keeping the hips square. Place your right hand to the inside of your left foot on the floor, on a block at any setting. Reach your left arm high. Continue to draw that left hip back. Stay here or bend into that left knee, walking your right hand forward for a revolved half moon, lifting that right leg. Pull your right heel back. Bend into that left knee, gently lower your right foot, coming back to your triangle. So right toes facing to the right side of your mat. We're going to pulse it for 3. That's 2. And 1. Reverse your triangle. High five that wall behind you. Maybe flex your left toes. Release your left toe, they were lifted. Sweep your arms forward, pivot your right toes. Find your high crescent. Frame your left foot. Set your blocks off to the side. Step your left foot back. Optional lower the leg or keep it lifted, finding your flow. And coming into down dog. Pedal it out, find your breath. All right, let's do that again. I'm just gonna switch sides so when I open up, I can face you all. You can take out any of those additional poses, staying in any of them, or you can flow, have fun with it, create your own, add on to it. One more breath here in down dog. From here, step or hop your feet to your hands, half lift, forward fold. Gently roll all the way up. Find your chair, pulse it for 3. That's 2. And 1, sweep your left arm back. And forward, right arm. One more time each side. Sweep both arms up. Lift your left leg high. Flex your left foot. Open cactus. Draw everything back in. And open. One more time. Hold it open. Find your tree. Any variation, you can grow your branches. You can sway from side to side. Draw that left leg over the right. Option to tap your left toes. Sink your hip just a little bit, bend into that right knee. Draw your arms down, sweeping that left arm under the right. Bind your hands, grab opposite shoulders. Try to sink your hips a little bit more, keeping your chest lifted. Try lifting your elbows. Hold it here, or come into that eagle crunch. Left elbow, left knee, and lift. Crunch it down. And lift. One more time. If you're in eagle crunch, hold it here. Take that left leg straight back. You can release your hands to the floor or keep them bound. If you're an eagle, release your hands. Bring both hands to a block or the floor and sweep your left leg back. Flex that left heel. Keep that left leg lifted. Pivot, open up, half moon. Sweep your left arm high, left leg lifted. Gaze down to the floor, directly in front or up to challenge your balance. Gently bend into that right knee. Keep holding onto that block and gently lower your left foot. Find that warrior two. Adjust your feet if you need to. Inhale, lift, big star. Exhale, bend. Flip your right palm. Reverse your warrior. Extended side. Straighten that right leg. Find your triangle. Bring your right foot. Pivot your left toes to about 10 o'clock. Pull that right hip back. Press your left hip forward. Both hands can frame your right foot. They can be on blocks. You can turn your fingertips towards your left toes. You can stay as high or maybe drawing your forehead towards your knee. Continue pulling that right hip back. Release your left hand to the inside of your right foot on the floor on a block. Reach your right arm high. Pull that right hip back. Stay here, revolve pyramid, or finding revolved half moon, bend into that right knee. Lift your left leg, walk your left foot forward. Walk your left hand forward. Holding here in revolved half moon or revolved pyramid with your leg lifted or lowered. If you're in revolved half moon, bend into that right knee, gently lower your left foot. Come back to revolved half moon. From here, draw your right hand down, left arm up. Find your triangle, pivot your left toes. We're going to pulse it for 3. That's 2. And 1. Reverse your triangle. Tuck your left hand behind your back. Maybe flex your right toes. That right knee, sweep both arms up high, pivot your left toes. Find your high crescent. Holding and breathing. Cartwheel down, framing your right foot. Sweep your right leg back. Option to keep it lifted or lowered. Finding your chaturanga. Coming into up dog. Finding your downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Deep inhales. Deep exhales. Keep it going. From here, deep bend in your knees, step or hop your feet to your hands, coming into a forward fold. Half lift, hands to shins, crown of your head pointing to the top of your mat. Come back to that forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Find your chair, sink your hips, pulse it for 3. That's 2. Hold it low, sweep the right arm back. And forward, chest lifted, left arm. One more time each side. Right arm. And left side. This time left arm forward, right arm lifts. Flex your right toes, find your balance. Open the right hip, cactus the arms. Draw everything back in. 2 more times. Open, draw back in. Hold that hip open. Find your tree. Any variation, you can grow your branches. You can find cow face arms. You can use a strap for the cow face arms if you'd like. Continue to breathe. Gently bend into that left knee as you sink your hips down, crossing that right thigh over the left. Sweep your arms down. Draw that right arm under the left. Option to bind your hands or your shoulders. Tap your right toes or keep them hovering for more of a challenge. You can sink your hips down, shoulders pulled back. Lift your elbows up. Hold it here or add that crunch. Right elbow to right knee. And lift. 2 more if you're with me. You can also just hold eagle. Right, kick that right leg straight back. Find your bound eagle. You can lower and unbind your hands to the floor to blocks at any time. Keep the hips squared. Flex through your right foot. If you're in eagle, unbind your hands, release your hands to the floor and kick that right leg straight back. Place your left hand on the floor on a block at any setting. Sweep your right arm high. Find your half moon, open up your hip. Pull your right leg up and back. Flex that foot. Bend into that left knee, gently lower your right foot. Find your warrior 2. Adjust your feet if you need to. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. Flip your left palm. Reverse your warrior. Come through extended side. Any variation, left hand to your thigh, hovering. Straighten that left leg, reach your right arm high. Left arm down low. Pivot your body, framing your left foot. Pivot your right heel, turning your toes to about 2 to 5 o'clock depending on your flexibility. Draw that left hip back. You can also shorten your stance. Place your hands on the floor on blocks, framing your left foot. Maybe reaching your fingertips back to your right. Maybe drawing your forehead towards your knee. Placing your right hand to the inside of your left foot on the floor on a block. Reach your left arm high. Continue to pull that left hip back. Revolve pyramid. Stay here if you want to play. Bend into that left knee. Walk your right hand forward. Lift your right leg. Coming into revolved half moon. If you're revolved pyramid, stay there. If you're revolved half moon, bend into that left knee. Gently lower your right foot. Come back to your pyramid pose. Reach your left hand down. Pivot your right toes. Sweep your right arm high. Find your triangle. You can widen that stance if you shortened it previously. We're going to pulse it for 3. That's 2. And 1. Reverse your triangle. Maybe flex your left toes. Bend into that right knee. Find your high crescent. Pivot your right toes. Hips are square. Hold it for 1 more breath. Cartwheel down. Bring your left foot, set your blocks off to the side. Kick your left leg straight back. Option to lower it or keep it hovering. Lower down. From here, we're going to draw the knees wide, sink the hips back, find your child's pose. Holding here and breathing. Reach your fingertips long. Knees tracking towards the outer edge of your mat. Hips towards your heels. Maybe just rocking your forehead from side to side. And back through center. Walk your hands over to the left side of your mat, maybe slightly off of your mat, feeling that stretch all along the right side body. Draw your left hand to the outside of your left knee, pressing into that left hand and gently drawing your right shoulder closer to the floor. Hold that right shoulder towards the floor. Release your left hand, bind it around towards your right hip. Release your left hand to meet the right. Walk your hands back through center. This time over to the right side, maybe slightly off of your mat. Gently relax your forehead back into the floor. Feel that stretch on the left side body. Sink your hips towards your heels. Reach your right hand to the outside of your right knee. Gently press into that right palm, pressing your left shoulder gently into the floor. Keep that left shoulder towards the floor. Release your right hand, bind it around towards your left hip. Your right arm long. Walk your hands back through center. Forehead on the floor. Bend your elbows, bringing your palms to touch. And if you like a deeper tricep stroke, maybe walking your thumbs towards the nape of your neck. Holding here and breathing. Your arms out long. Rise up. Find a tabletop. Lower your left or right hip. Coming onto your bottom. Grabbing a strap and a block. Place that block between your thighs. Reach your arms out long. Soles of your feet press in towards the floor. Slowly roll back. Think one vertebrae at a time. Lower back. Then middle back. Then upper back. All the way down. Tap your thumbs overhead. We're going to roll back up. Draw your wrists under or over your shoulders. Slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Neck, upper back, middle back, lower back. Try to keep your feet sealed to the floor. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Reach your arms up high. Reach them forward. Release that block between your thighs. Now grab that block between your palms. Roll back. Same thing. This time with your knees hip width apart without squeezing that block. Roll all the way down. Slower. When you get there, tap that block overhead. Bring that block back over your shoulders. Rolling all the way up. Frankenstein arms. Slow and steady. Tap the shoulders over the hips. Reach the arms up high. Reach the arms forward. Lean back halfway. Maybe further, maybe a little bit less. Tap that block to the right. Bring it center, over to the left. Bring it center by the right hip. Lift up. Try to keep the arms straight. That's it. 3 more times each side. Slow and steady. You can hover the shins if you'd like to make it more challenging, or keep your feet on the floor. 1 more time each side. All right, go ahead and plant your feet. They're lifted. Roll all the way back. Walk your heels in close towards your hips. Squeeze your glutes, lift your hips. Place that block on any setting, low, medium, or high. The higher your setting is, the deeper you're going to feel the stretch. Adjust if you need to, and then resting your hips on that block. Your hips to fall in towards the block, in towards the floor. Lifting one leg at a time. Draw your feet up towards the ceiling. Point, flex, circle out your feet. Maybe reach your fingertips up, circle out your wrist. Everything working all class. Supported, legs up the wall. And bending your knees, lowering one foot at a time. Once both feet are on the floor, squeeze your glutes, lift your hips. Set that block off to the side. Draw both knees in towards your chest. You can grab your shins or your thighs and gently rock side to side. This is a great use for the strap. Gently rock back to center. Draw the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling. You can also use the strap here for happy baby. You can grab the back side of your thighs. You can grab the outer knife edge of each foot with your hands or with that strap. And then just rocking side to side here if that feels comfortable for you today. Gently come back through center. Release your left leg long. Single leg happy baby, left leg long to the bottom of your mat. drawing your right knee in towards your right shoulder. Release your right heel towards your right hip. Point, flex, circle out your right ankle, gently binding your hands above your shin on the right side. With your left hand, gently guide your right knee through the center and over to the left side of your body. That left knee can tap the floor, block, or just hover. You can gaze up or challenge a deeper stretch. You can reach your right arm long, gently looking over your right shoulder. Gently come back to center. Keeping that right knee bent, draw the sole of your right foot to the inside of your left leg. Find your reclined tree. Release any tension that you have. So if you're squeezing your right glute or activating your thigh, just let it go, relax, feel yourself melt into the mat. And then release your right leg long to meet the left. Reach your arms overhead. Create a tiny arch in your lower back. Put your hands by your side. Walk your knees up towards the ceiling, feet to the floor. Coming back to your happy baby. Draw the soles of your feet to the ceiling with or without that strap. Hands on the outer edge of each foot or on your thigh. And just rolling side to side. Gently rock back to center, keeping your left knee bent. Extend your right leg long to the bottom edge of your mat. Bend your left knee a little bit more, allowing your left heel to come in towards your left hip. Binding your hands just on your left calf or your shin. Point, flex, circle out your left ankle, wiggle your toes, flexing your right toes, so keep your right calf towards the floor. With your right hand, gently guide your left knee over to the right side of your body. Maybe that left knee taps the floor. Maybe it hovers. Maybe it's on a block. You can gaze up towards the ceiling or over your left shoulder. You can reach your left arm long. You can also bend that left arm to the cactus. Gently come back to center. Both fists on the floor. Excuse me. Keep that left knee bent. Draw the sole of your left foot to the inside of your right leg. Relax your left hip. Relax your left knee. Allowing your hip to fall open. Gently release your left leg long on the floor to meet the right, allowing your heels to touch, toes fall open, releasing your hands by your side, pinkies in, thumbs out, or any final resting pose that's comfortable for you today. Asana. Begin to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Rock yourself a few times along your spine until you come up to a comfortable seated position. Take both arms up high. Release your hands to your heart. Thank you all so much for allowing me to share my practice with you each and every week. I wish you all a happy and healthy new year. Namaste. Thank you all.